For over a decade, Mike De Sisti has worked at the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel as a photojournalist. He has been front and center for many big Wisconsin moments, such as Packers playoff wins, presidential visits, and times of uncertainty and unrest. He has also captured stunning pictures of our area that will leave you in awe. However, he is not just a world-class photographer, he is also a talented, abstract painter. Painting is something he's dabbled in for years, but is now doing diligently. He has committed himself to the craft and is making a name for himself in the art scene. I'm Sandy Max, host of The Arts Page. I had the chance to sit down and visit with Mike about what it takes to be skilled in two very different mediums, what art means to him, and the moments in his life that define him as an artist.
My name is Mike De Sisti, and I am a full-time photojournalist at the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, and I also paint.
Mike De Sisti, how did you become a photojournalist?
You know, I went to high school in the northwest suburbs of Chicago, and I really didn't have any idea what I wanted to do. And I took some photo classes. You know, I was a kid running around with a camera all the time, and I always enjoyed photography. I graduated high school, had no clue what I wanted to do, went to a community college, took a photography class. I had a teacher that was really kind of instrumental in encouraging me, you know, to go away to a four-year college to pursue photography. I remember him saying, you know, you're pretty good at photography. You should, you know, consider pursuing it, you know, either photography or art. So I went to Southern Illinois University, went through the four-year Bachelor of Arts in Photography, and just did more art types of photography, you know, alternative processes, you know, cyanotypes, and you know, black and white. This is the film days, you know. And my last semester there, I got a job working at the school newspaper, the Daily Egyptian, and really enjoyed it. And I just kind of did it to see if I could do photojournalism. You know, I grew up reading a newspaper and saw photojournalism and really respected it. And that led me to a position in Appleton. I worked there for 10 years, and now I'm here in Milwaukee as a photojournalist.
So you mentioned in high school you were drawn towards photography and art, and maybe artful photography. So how did you become a painter?
It all started about a year ago. We have an unfinished basement. We had to paint our basement wall. It needed a fresh coat of white paint. We painted it, and my kids, who are 12 and 14, were like, well, you should paint something for the wall. And I'm like, okay, you know, maybe I'll paint something. But then I decided, well, why don't we all paint something? So we all painted these little 4x4 paintings, you know, and put them up on the wall, and it was really fun. And I just kind of kept going. You know, I painted that little 4x4, and I painted something a little bit bigger, and it kind of sounds esoterical, you know, but I'm like grateful to the paint for what it has been able to give me as far as what these paintings look like so far. I look at them when I'm done, I'm like, this looks pretty cool, you know, and I'm like, for what I know and for how long I've been doing it, you know, I'm pretty proud of what it looks like for knowing as little as I do.
Is that what you love about it, the unplannedness?
I really do, yeah. I look at that white blank canvas and I really don't have any idea, for the most part, have much of an idea of what I'm gonna do. I kind of think sometimes I'm going to do maybe blue and purple, or, and that always changes too once I start going. And I give myself the freedom to let it change, you know, once I'm going. But I like the element of not really knowing what I'm going to get. And it kind of reminds me in a way of photography. The old darkroom days, you know, when you go out and take a roll of film, I mean, you have an idea of what the pictures are going to be, but when you develop a print, you know, in the tray of developer, and it starts to emerge and you see what it is, you know, that's what it almost feels like when I'm painting a picture on a white canvas. The painting just starts to emerge, and it's like that sense of excitement, like, wow, what is it going to turn into? It feels like that.
That reveal.
Yeah, and it's really amazing.
So you talk about your family, your children being involved in your painting, but you also have someone who's, I would call, your artistic supervisor.
Yes, I do. I do. I have a mascot, and her name is Emily. Yeah, that's my cat. I don't know what it is about this cat, but every time I go down and paint, Emily is down there and she's ready to go. I mean, I was down there this morning and I don't even have a canvas on the easel, and she just is sitting there ready to go. She's a great critic of my work.
And supporter, it seems.
Supporter too, yes. Yeah, she's a great supporter of my work, yeah.
So when it comes to your photography and your painting, is there any spillover? Does your photography influence your painting or vice versa?
I don't really think, like, I don't do anything where I'm taking photos and then like painting what the photo is or anything like that. It's nothing that literal. I probably couldn't paint a picture of a barn if I tried, but that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just, for me, it's about being creative and just letting it go. Painting, like I'm experimenting and I'm learning new things about what paint can and can't do. Mostly I'm learning about what paint cannot do because I'm in such an experimental stage. But I do feel like my sense of composition helps with my painting, even though it's abstract. Sometimes I can look at a painting and go, this feels kind of crooked, or there's too much color on one side, this needs to be evened out. There is an advantage to having just been so visual for so long and looking at so many images for such a long time. It does help carry over to being able to be visual as far as painting goes.
What are your hobbies and interests outside of artwork?
I like to run. My place of work is exactly 1 mile one way to the art store. So if I run from my work to the art store to Blick, and I go there and I buy paint, and then I run back, it's a 2 mile round trip run. So it's a great little break from work, and I get a 2 mile run in, and I buy 2 tubes of paint, usually, sometimes 1, sometimes 2, and I just run down the street with these tubes of paint. And it might look kind of funny to people, but for me, I pretend they're like running batons. And I'm like, running a track race with my running baton.
Your relay?
Yeah.
You ever pick up canvases?
I have not run with a canvas yet, but that might be a little tough, especially if the wind is.
I would say they're not as aerodynamic.
Yeah, no, not as aerodynamic, no. But yeah, so I run with these, paint tubes. It's fun.
So Mike, let's take a look at your artwork.
Okay.
And what is this painting called?
This one is called All I See. This is actually the second large format one I did. This is a 4x5 one. I don't use brushes. I use palette knives, and this one I used a great big huge like paint scraper. It's your basic kind of paint scraper that you get from a hardware store. I was using small ones for a while, and it was taking too long. And you can see like some of these strokes are like great big long vertical strokes. And I was doing little ones, and I was like, okay, this is taking way too long. So I went to the hardware store and I got a great big long, it's just a long kind of blade scraper thing. I'm like, give me the biggest one you got.
And such bright colors.
A lot of times I'll start with some, underneath it you can see there's kind of some earth tones, and I'll say, I'm gonna do all earth tones with this one. And then I'll do it, and I'm like, kind of add a little bit of lightness, maybe some bright color, and then it just gets brighter and brighter, and that's kind of how it goes.
We see the bright colors here, and then we also see the bright colors in this big painting. What is the title of this artwork?
This one is called Sweet and Sleepy.
How I wake up every morning, Mike.
Right, exactly. Don't we all?
I was not the muse, the inspiration for this, though. What was?
No. Well, this one, I just kind of went bright and happy with this one. I just like the different shades of colors, with the reds and the blues. I did go a little thicker, I think, with the texture on this one. I tend to go thick with the paint. I like a lot of texture in the paint. And I think that comes from when I was a kid, my mom would take us to the art museum. I loved those paintings that had a lot of texture to them. When you could walk to the side and you could like see the paint coming off. It was almost like a 3D effect. Not only did I want to like reach out and touch them, I wanted to make art like that. You know, you can touch it. Go ahead.
It's like it's frightening.
Yeah.
You
No,
learn
you
all the
can touch
time
it.
not
Yeah.
to do that.
No,
but-
I mean you can. You
but
go
it
ahead. I mean,
is.
I don't suggest other people going to art museums and touching
Right.
other people's paintings, but I mean, yeah, it's cool. I mean, I like that effect.
Now, Mike, when I think abstract paintings, I do think of these designs where your imagination can run wild. There's no real rhyme or reason
Right.
to the image. But this, although it's still abstract, it's a city skyline.
Sure.
With a reflection in water. Am I getting that?
You are getting that. That is correct. That is a skyline.
What
Yeah,
is the
yeah,
title of this
yeah.
painting?
This one is called Easy Street. It's not any particular skyline. It's just Skyline USA. This one, I got done with it, and my niece, who lives in Indianapolis, they just bought a brand new house. She's got her eye on it, and she's gonna take this one for her house. The room that it's gonna be hanging in, it's gonna look great. So it's nice that it's gonna stay in the family. So
I was saying it'll be part of her uncle's artwork
Yeah,
in her
yeah.
home, making it even more homey.
yeah, it's really cool.
Now, Mike, when it comes to abstract paintings, you have a wide variety of styles. This painting is completely different than the other ones we've seen.
Right, yeah. I did want to do something a little bit different with this one. You know, this one started out as a mash of different colors, and then I thought it kind of needed something. So I had all the colors like this kind of on the canvas like it was, and then I'm like, okay, it needs something. So then that's when I went ahead and I added kind of the white lines and then the black lines to kind of separate everything. And then I'm like, okay, now it really pops. It really kind of says a lot about just kind of the process and not really knowing what you're going to get. You do it and then you're done and you kind of look at it and you think, okay, what does this need? And then I thought, I'm going to try some white lines. And I'm like, oh, that looks pretty cool. Then I thought, okay, now I'm going to try some black lines. I'm like, oh, okay, that looks cool too.
This goes back to what we were talking about
Yeah.
before, the reveal.
Yeah.
Similar to developing film and the wet process and what's going to appear. And if you just start with the colors and then
Right.
let it come out.
Yeah, that's pretty much the situation with this one for sure.
The last question.
Okay.
Ta-da!
Okay.
What does the future hold for Mike De Sisti?
Oh, wow. What does the future hold for me? I'm just going to continue to paint and just kind of see where it goes. You know, I have no like grand future plans. I'm just enjoying the ride right now. I've really done this to get off of my screen more instead of sitting up on the couch looking at my phone for an hour a night. I'm downstairs painting. If I can do that and it helps me emotionally, I'm going to continue to do it.
Mike De Sisti, thank
Yeah.
you so very much and keep creating.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Hi, I'm Sandy Max, host of The Arts Page. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay up to date with the latest from us here at The Arts Page.